He's done it all. Hundreds of skydives, traveled the world, army, police work, intelligence work, and prison. Now he's an author and a biker with an axe to grind. He's Dennis M. Young. I'm Dennis Young for henchmanshonor.com. It's December 11th, 2016, and we are going to explore why Sweden is dead because they're stupid and Russia is alive because they're smart. Trump is continuing the anti-globalist march to nationalism. The old quote says, "Nationalism is the final refuge of a scoundrel," and I've never been a fan of nationalism, but it beats the hell out of globalism. All the corrupt polls and pollsters and people who cringed from their eyes being shut so tight had it wrong. The Trump landslide was obvious, and I called it 3 times in my blogs on henchmanshonor.com. On the 25th of October 2016, I wrote, "The first accurate poll requires mass murder," speaking about the upcoming Trump landslide. And as I did on 31st of October, the high water mark is close. And the 3rd of November, trains can run in 2 directions. All of this is blogged on henchmanshonor.com. They all talked about Trump becoming the next president, and I emphatically stated that he would. I think it was obvious. Trump was getting 20,000 people to his rally. Hillary was getting 300. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something. And there were other polls done. There was one poll that was done where they took 1,000 people from every state. And so they did a total of 50,000 people from every state. They divided equally, Republicans and Democrats. Anyway, the poll showed an overwhelming Trump victory. So only the liars basically got it wrong, and the people who ate their own bullshit. I rode down to Sturgis this year, 2016, on my Harley, and there were Trump signs everywhere, all the way through. I went through Montana, South Dakota, some other state. Anyway, all you saw was Trump signs, and I didn't see one Hillary sign. Plus, talking to people, I spoke to Latinos, black guys, everyone was voting Trump. And this wasn't just at Sturgis. I know bikers are kind of prone to Trump, but even other regular people where I stopped off for gas or a drink, everyone was Trump. I cannot understand what motivated people, what logic they used, or polling techniques, fraudulent obviously, to say that Hillary had a hope in hell. So where were the Hillary voters? They were in the George Soros voting machines, the 3 million illegal aliens, the fraudulent mail-in ballots, and of course, a lot of dead people voted. My point is, this nationalist trend is being motivated and by the grassroots, and it's good. The whole world is starting to imitate this philosophy. We see, it really started with Putin, I think, and it's America, Italy, lots of countries are starting to say, hey, we got to take care of number one. Russia has adopted this philosophy under Putin and is surviving and advancing under huge opposition from the international banks and the most powerful military on the planet, the USA, who is controlled by the big international banks. Russia's technology is now state-of-the-art, and they've become a proud and hungry people. This is not the same hunger they faced in the past. This is a hunger to win, to achieve, to diversify, and to outsmart those who threaten them. To be anything else would mean the end of Russia. By contrast, Sweden had an intelligent, similar Nordic population. Just like the Soviets, the disease that killed Russia, Sweden embraced the nanny socialist state, which just means economic stupidity and suicide. So Russia had nothing, used their brains, and is becoming very successful. Sweden had a lot, dumped the brain work, and now they're going to suffer in a very big way. It may even kill them. Now that the Swedish population is weak and dependent on a nanny state, their masters have betrayed them and are soon to kill Sweden and install some form of Islamicism, if that's a word. Now, not all religions are lunatics, just like not all atheists or Christians are lunatics, but some are. The West doesn't the West does have its share of religious nut jobs like Scientologists and Satanists. Uh, Recent WikiLeaks have shown that we have some very powerful people at the top of our government who practice Satanism that is as bad as anything Islam can throw at us. For more on that, YouTube 30 Things We Know About Pizzagate by The Outer Dark. It'll tell you basically everything you need to know in a very short piece about Satanism and who is a Satanist. I personally know Muslims who own businesses and raise happy families. They're great people and we need more people like them. But the recent Muslim influx are 80% violent, military-aged, indoctrinated males who possess a violent ideology. The obvious comparison is when Castro emptied his prisons and floated his criminals to Florida. Lots of Cubans are good people, but they weren't the intended export, just like the recent migrants aren't. You can obscure this reality and focus on limbless children all you want, but the intention remains the same. Flood the West with Islamic soldiers and supply the weapons later. Sweden is dead before the first shot's been fired. The idiot killed Sweden, just as intelligence has saved Russia and nationalism will save America. Thanks, I'm Dennis Young. So, as I say it on many of my blogs, dump Twitter for the same reasons you've dumped the mainstream media. Go to Gab. It's freedom oriented. That's kind of the main focus here is freedom. Check out my blog on ahenchmanshonor.com.